Planned Parenthood just opened a massive new abortion facility in Illinois that's capable of cranking out a minimum of 11,000 abortions per year. And like all criminals, they work under the cover of darkness, laboring at night and day in secret. They call it CODENAME Alaska, and it's now one of the largest abortion facilities anywhere in the country.
The new clinic was built in secret in Illinois near the Missouri border. Missouri has some of the strictest abortion laws in the country. CBS News reporter Kate Smith visited the facility as it was being built. She's been reporting on abortion issues since last year. Kate, welcome to the table.
You.
And start us off, what's the significance of this new clinic? I keep hearing it's ginormous and big.
Exactly. So in recent months, states across the South and Midwest, they've been implementing stricter and stricter anti-abortion laws. But this new clinic is in Illinois, where the state is moving in the opposite direction.
So this is the site of our brand new building here in Illinois.
We first visited the new clinic in August. The sensitive project was being built in secret under the codename Alaska. Dr. Colleen McNicholas showed us around.
We know that our colleagues at other Planned Parenthoods and independent abortion clinics across the country have had difficulty opening new clinics. Things as simple as getting the phone company to come in and put phone and data lines, things like the cabinet makers not showing up to deliver once they knew that that facility was going to be an abortion facility.
The 18,000 square foot building cost nearly $7 million to build. Planned Parenthood estimates the new office can handle up to 11,000 patients a year. The clinic is only miles from the Missouri border. It's positioned to accommodate patients from nearby states with strict abortion laws. In the last 2 years, the number of women crossing the Illinois border for abortions has more than doubled.
On a personal level, I just have it in my heart to serve women.
Mary Kate Knorr is executive director of Illinois Right to Life.
The purpose of a law is to set a moral standard for society.
Knorr says she's disgusted Illinois has become what she calls the abortion capital of the Midwest.
It's a travesty that this is happening in our state. It's a travesty that women come here to get an abortion.
McNicholas says Planned Parenthood is committed to giving their patients the access they need.
Why did you choose that location?
The truth is that our patients want easier access, and for some, the 13-mile drive from our St. Louis clinic to this Illinois clinic is an opportunity for them to get that care with less judgment, with less restriction, and with far fewer hoops to jump through.
CBS News has learned that the sole Planned Parenthood left in Missouri is planning to double its clinic escorts starting today. Now, this is in case of preparation and backlash to that new Illinois facility.
So it was a secret. It's not a secret anymore. Bravo on the reporting. I'm curious, is Planned Parenthood concerned about security?
They are concerned about security, and I should mention not just security here, but security all over the nation at these providers. We've seen a record high number in violent acts against abortion providers, so it's a very real threat for these people.
Are they getting a lot of business?
They are getting a lot of business. So as we said, the number of women crossing the border into Illinois to seek an abortion, that's more than doubled. And their existing facilities, they just can't handle it. We were at one of those. It was in a little strip mall. You had to back up in order for someone to come by. And we're going to see the capacity more than double with this new facility.
Planned Parenthood said they expect to start operations. Pause for a moment and think on that. They expect to start operations in the next few weeks. The Nazis had cute little code names too when they wanted to discreetly refer to the wholesale slaughter of the people that were processing. And thou shalt not let any of the seed pass through the fire to Moloch, neither shalt thou profane the name of God. I am the Lord, Leviticus 18:21. Folks, we have arrived in a day and time, the biblical last days foretold in prophecy, where evil would rise and the power of darkness would envelope the land. The Planned Parenthood facility here brags about how many they can process per day, and that they are willing to kill babies up to 6 months old. And those are the selling points of how efficient their new health clinic is. And you thought the Nazis were cold-blooded. If they were still around and watching Planned Parenthood, they would be asking them for pointers. The new location is just 13 miles away from Missouri's last remaining abortion clinic, the facility in St. Louis fighting to keep its license. Since August 2018, Planned Parenthood has used a shell company to construct the facility, leaving no public trace that the former medical office would become one of the largest abortion clinics in the country. Colleen McNicholas, the chief medical officer of Planned Parenthood of the South Louis region of southwest Missouri, said the facility was built in secret to avoid protesters and delays. Other Planned Parenthood projects had run into problems once the public realized the construction was for an abortion provider. In one instance, a communications company had refused to install telephones and data lines. In another, a cabinet maker never delivered an order. McNicholas said in Birmingham, Alabama, protesters targeted Planned Parenthood suppliers, flooding their social media accounts with fake negative reviews. Quote unquote, our supporters, our patients, the board, everyone is so committed to the mission of being present in Missouri and taking the responsibility to provide access to abortion for Missourians in the place they live, she said. Although I am confident it will be a fight, we will continue to show up to that fight. Planned Parenthood expects the facility to begin taking patients later this month. In the meantime, the organization's St. Louis location said it's planned to double its clinic escort staff on Wednesday in anticipation of the increased protest. With a newly conservative Supreme Court, access to abortion has come under fire in the South and Midwest, where state lawmakers have raced to pass laws that ban the procedure in hopes of overturning Roe v. Wade. Queen Jezebel was the most wicked woman in the Bible. She was an ardent idol worshiper and murderer. She intimidated people by fear and was associated with sexual immorality and sorcery. And as a part of her idol worship, she was likely involved in the sacrifice of babies. But not even Jezebel sold baby parts for profit. The medical benefits of this ghastly practice and the so-called humanitarian purpose behind this horrific trade do not make it right. It's downright evil to market the hearts and the heads and limbs and lungs of babies slaughtered in the womb. It's wrong, it's wicked, and it's woeful. And don't be mistaken, the spirit of Queen Jezebel is incredibly evil and is still operating in America today, and is evident through the militant pro-abortion agenda. According to LifeSite, the CEO of STEM Express essentially admitted in court that her biotech company supplies beating fetal hearts and intact fetal heads to medical researchers. She also admitted at the preliminary hearing of David Daleiden and Sandra Merritt of the Center of Medical Progress that the baby's head could be procured, attached to the baby's body, or could be, quote, torn away. And this is done for profit. People are making money off the body parts of butchered babies. A registered nurse from Ohio, Brenda Pratt Schaefer, she testified before the Senate Judiciary Committee in 1995 about what she witnessed when she assisted a partial birth abortion on a 26-and-a-half-week preborn baby. According to Schaefer, the baby was alive and moving as the abortionist delivered the baby's bodies and arms, everything but the head. The doctor kept the baby's head just inside the uterus. The baby's little fingers were clasping and unclasping. His feet were kicking. Then the doctor stuck the scissors through the back of its head, and the baby's arms jerked out in a flinch, a startle reaction, like a baby does when he thinks he might fall. The doctor opened up the scissors and stuck a high-powered suction cup tube into the opening and sucked the baby's brains out. Now the baby was completely limp. Who can imagine this? I mean, whatever the mother's motivation might have been for aborting her baby, even something like an extreme health risk to the child, it cannot merit an end like this. The latest reports of selling intact baby heads and even beating hearts take things one step further. As noted by Peter Breen of the Thomas More Society, which is representing David Daleiden in the current hearings. That is an especially gruesome admission, but it begs to question, how do they get these fully intact human children? If you have a fetus with an intact head and an intact body and intact extremities, that is something that would indicate that the child was born alive and then had their organs cut out of them, or that child was the victim of an illegal partial birth abortion. I mean, even listening to myself leaves me almost speechless. And yet these babies need a voice, and you and I must be that voice. They cannot cry out for themselves. And that means that all of us must do something, whatever that something may be. It can mean praying regularly for God's merciful intervention, or donating to a pro-life organization, or even getting your friends to watch Unplanned, or working with a pro-life ministry, maybe writing to your elected officials, or adopting an unwanted child into your home, maybe volunteering your legal services, or taking time to educate your children on the sanctity of life. But please, let all of us do something until this ghastly practice is ended and babies can feel safe in their mother's wombs. This is happening on our watch, ladies and gentlemen. It would of course be improper to say I hope you enjoyed this message. However, I do hope this video has inspired you to speak out. The time to take action is long past. On another note, I want to share with you my goals and missions with my journey. I cannot leave God's word only on a YouTube channel, with a chance, of course, of being eliminated for speaking his word. For me, God is much bigger, and I know I can do better. In the future, I would like to accomplish the following: an interactive, complete website that allows for subscribers to share prayer requests and biblical conversation. In addition to the website, it will also host all of our video content as well as personal contact for those struggling with God's Word. I would also love the ability when people ask for Bibles to send them out at no charge. We are well aware of the demonic attack and bans on God's holy word. Extended future plans is the development of a Sunday night weekly Bible study, like a radio show. And I realize this is a huge undertaking, but nothing will ever compare to the sacrifice Jesus did for me. I wanted to relay this to you so that you understood the logic of why I asked for donations. I've considered mapping out a GoFundMe page to at least fund the bulk Bible purchases. And of course, I respect all of your opinions, and I'm looking for your advice and direction. So please feel free, email me if you have something to say, 316exposure@gmail.com, or simply leave a comment below. Most of you already know we currently have 3 options set up for donations: PayPal, Patreon, and 316 Exposure apparel website. All 3 links, of course, will be left in the description below. And lastly, I want to thank each and every one of you for listening and all of the positive messages that help me solidify my purpose. Without a doubt, the 10-hour edits become more of passing minutes with your kind words. And that's all I have for today. So enjoy the balance of your weekend. God bless you and your families. Thank you.